Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Today I wanted to talk about the volume and intensity relationship again. I guess it's part three, but I think it's important because so many maybe fitness professionals, people that work in the industry, they they want to stick to one methodology, and even clients that we see. They want to, okay, there's my program, I'm going to follow it. And the issue with that is the body will adapt to just about every training variable or every stressor we place on the body within reason. Again, if we give our bodies enough recovery time and all those things. But what I wanted to talk today about in a little more detail is this volume and intensity relationship again, and give you a practical example, one that we build into our programming, and that is to vary the volume and intensity. So, for example, we will, for instance, if you're doing a chest press exercise, and you know that you just have one set to do, and you put 225 pounds on the bar or on a machine, and you've done a warm-up set or two, and I tell you to do, the time before, you had done 3 or 4 sets with 225. Maybe you had gotten 3 sets of, I don't know, you had done 10, 9, and 8, or 10, 8, and 7. It's just very possible, depending on your rest interval. So the 3 sets you had done maybe 2 or 3 weeks before, you had done 10, 8, and 7, for example. And so you had done 3 sets. So today I would tell you you're going to do 1 set with the 225 after you've done a warm-up. And I can promise you, because I've seen it over and over and over, you would be able to get 13 or 14 probably repetitions with that 225 versus the workout where you had 3 sets to do, or 4, maybe 3 sets. In this example, 3 sets. I'll promise you your performance before was on that first set you did 10 reps. Now today, with just one all-out set to concentrate on, focus all your efforts on, you will probably get 13 or 14. I promise you your performance will have gone up. So there is a direct relationship between volume and intensity in that example, for instance, with that first set, because we're comparing the first set of the 3-set protocol versus the one all-out set that you were going to do with the lower set count or lower volume protocol. So we would say that in that 1 set versus the first set of the 3, that the intensity is much higher in the lower volume protocol. So if you don't believe me, try it for yourself. Over 3 or 4 weeks, just do 3 or 4 sets of an exercise, and then after 3 to 4 weeks of doing 3 to 4 sets of all your exercises, come in again, pick a chest press exercise, and just concentrate. After you've done your warm-up, do 1 all-out set. It's a fact. If you have 1 set to focus on, your performance is going to go up. The issue becomes, okay, so then we could argue, well, intensity is more important than volume, so therefore we should train all the time just doing 1 set per exercise. The problem is that your total volume is actually going to be much greater, right? Even if your performance isn't quite as good when you were doing 3 sets on that first set. So if I did 10, 8, and 7, your total reps with that same load at 3 sets was 25 versus maybe 12 to 14. So your total volume is different, and we can't compare the intensity and volume when we're doing 3 sets, because again, the intensity is much greater on that first set. They're just 2 totally different workouts. So I want to encourage you to learn this principle that your body will adapt to whatever training that you use. So it's important to vary volume and intensity. Okay, and so how we do it here is we vary the volume. So we might, when someone just starts out, we may have them on a 2 set per exercise protocol. They may follow that for 4 to 6 weeks or so, and then we will start a stepping up of volume over weeks. So they may do 2 sets on week 1 per exercise, 3 sets on week 2, 4 sets on week 3. We may go up another step in volume, and then we will drop it back down to 2 sets for 3 or 4 weeks after that 3 or 4 week ramp up in volume. Okay, so we're going to ramp up in volume, which means the intensity per set is probably going to be lower at the higher volume point, and then we will drop the volume, which will raise their intensity. Okay, and that is exactly what happens is when you change your volume over time and then drop it down, you will be able to train with a higher performance than you did in the beginning on that lower volume first week of the step loading. So it's important to alter your training volume. Okay, you could, if you get more advanced, you could experiment with doing more of a linear block program of periodization where you have a block of time, maybe 4 to 6 weeks of lower volume, and keep the volume stable, maybe a couple sets per exercise, and follow that for 4 to 6 weeks, measuring your performance, trying to improve per set. If you just did, say, for example, 2 sets per exercise, and then you could have a 6 or 8 week block where you went up to 4 to 6 sets per exercise, again dramatically changing your from lower volume to higher volumes, and then follow that for 4 to 8 weeks, and then altering it that way. But volume is important. Volume and the related intensity is important to vary for each workout and phases of programming, because again the body will adapt. Okay, if you come in and you do 1 to 2 sets of every exercise from now to the end of time, to the end of your workout career, that's a great thing. You're going to improve, absolutely. But the problem is the body's going to adapt. And if you don't believe me, follow a low volume protocol for the next 2 months, and then triple the training volume. Okay, so if you do 1 to 2 sets of every exercise, follow that for 6 to 8 weeks, or 10 weeks, or 12 weeks. I know there's the high intensity gurus. Follow that for 8, 12 weeks, and then go and triple your training volume for if you do 1 set per exercise for 8 to 12 weeks, then triple your training volume for 8 to 12 weeks. Stay with the exact same workout, just add 3 times the number of sets. And I promise you it will be a totally different adaptation. You will feel it. It's a totally different response. Now, again, as I've said before, I'm not a proponent for large training volumes either. So I think we have to be practical. 2 to 3 days per week of strength training, getting in and out of the gym, and really I think 30 minutes is the maximum time that you need to spend. No more than 45 minutes, but altering your training volume can be done in that time frame. So again, run that little experiment, do low volume for a few weeks, or 4 to 8 weeks, 12 weeks, maybe extend it out, and then go higher volume for 8 to 12 weeks. Triple the training volume, 1 set, then do 3 to 4 sets per every exercise, and your body will continue to change. And if you want to get really fun with it, again, do the stepping up approach in volume. Every week or so, add a set per exercise, following 4 weeks of stepping it up in volume, then dropping it down for 3 to 4 weeks, again to the lower volume point that you used in that first week of the step loading. So fun stuff, but you don't be changing your exercises within that periodization plan. Keep your exercises the same so everything's stable. You've got good data, you've got good record keeping, control your reps and all those things, control for all the other variables, just to alter your training volume or sets per exercise. That's it for today. Again, I don't take a position. I've done this long enough. It's all practical. It's all works. High volume versus lower volume. The issue is it won't work forever. But with regard to training volume and intensity, it won't work forever. You have to vary your training volume within a practical approach that's prudent, and that you don't do, again, high volumes of exercise is probably not going to be productive for your long-term health and fitness. So I hope that helps. Big topic, big topic. I devoted 3 videos to this. Huge topic. I hope it helps you. Again, we could argue little bitty details of every workout plan, but in general, I do think you need to alter your training volume over time. You can't follow the same program from now till you're, decide to quit lifting weights at 90 years old. I hope you're lifting weights till your whole adult life. All right, talk to you all soon.